Could we have Geetika Dayal, the executive? Could I request the guests to stay on stage, please? We just want to offer a small token of appreciation. Could we have Geetika Dayal, the executive director, TiE Delhi-NCR, to hand over these small tokens, please? Could we have a huge round of applause, please? We would also like to thank our speaker gift partner, NatureAche, and innovation partner, AWS. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all set for a very, very insightful session that is up next. This is around meaningful brands, the strategies for success. How does a brand go beyond just being a name? How does it have an impact? How does it become evolved? How does it become more inclusive? And to talk about all this and a lot more, I want to invite a very special guest on stage, Mr. Mohit Joshi, CEO, Havas Media India, to join us on stage, please. Could we have a huge round of applause? Mohit, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. May I please request the guests to kindly take their seats. After a very, very engaging discussion that we had around investments, this is more around brands and marketing. I'm sure you'll like the change. Before I even get into the session, I wanted to introduce a concept that we have at Havas, which is the concept of meaningful brands. And each one of you, most of you over here are founders and building your own brands, or you are investors and investing in startups which are finally going to be becoming brands. So the objective of this session is to tell you why building brands is important in the startup ecosystem as well. And we at Havas have been doing this research over the last 15 years, where we have realized that the brands need to be meaningful for the consumers for them to survive. And a very, very, very stark reality came up when we did this research, and this reality does not change with time. Even today, we see that consumers say that close to 73% of the brands could disappear tomorrow and they would not care, which means they would actually substitute that brand with something else. And it's a very scary statistics given the amount of money that each one of you is spending on building your own brands, right? So the objective was how and in what way can we create brands more meaningful for the consumers so that they'll miss our brands, and like Maggie once disappeared and consumers actually got the brands back, right? We need to have a brand like that. So we have been doing this research over the last 15 years, and it's a very, very thorough research. Even in India, we capture a lot of brands and categories. Obviously, not every category and every brand, but a big, I would say, big bouquet of categories. And what we have realized is that overall, there are three tenets on which the consumers evaluate the brands. You know, your brands have three key functions. The functional benefits of the brand, which is whether the brand is doing what it is supposed to be doing. If it's an apparel brand, then it needs to to do the job of an apparel. If it's a car brand, it needs to take you from point A to point B and do whatever. So the absolute functional benefits of the brand. Then there are the personal benefits of a brand, whether the brand is making you feel happy, making you feel more confident, making you feel safe, making you feel. So these are slightly higher aspirations when compared to the basic functional job that the brand does. And we all know that Dove does not sell a soap; they sell a dream, and that's the personal benefit that Dove gives you. Well, now the consumer is even more evolved. So while personal benefits evolved in the 70s, 80s, today the consumers want to know everything about the brand. They want to know the collective benefits of the brand. Now, what are collective benefits? Collective benefits is how is this brand engaging with the society at large, whether they are ethical in their way of working, whether they are having a proper environmental sensitivity, whether they have a proper HR sensitivity, whether they are transparent, whether they are following all norms of ESG today. So all those things are also becoming very important for the consumer to make a brand choice. And this is something that has become very, very important. And you'll be surprised to see that close to about 30%. So it's not that the third bucket is a very small bucket of consideration. The third bucket also is about 30%. So it's like 33 in certain categories. The functional benefits are higher. In certain categories, the collective benefits are higher. So in this new age of building brands, right? All the 4 P's of marketing have failed, and we are having more 4 P's of marketing. And the most important P of marketing that exists today is the purposeful marketing, which is what we've been seeing over the last 4-5 years, where every brand seems to be talking purpose and connecting with their consumers in a very, very positive way. So this essentially is the concept of meaningful brands. With this now, what I will do is I also have the opportunity of announcing that this year we have initiated Meaningful Brand Awards, and for which I will request my jury to be on the stage with me. So Alok, founder Indifi and President TiE Delhi-NCR. Mr. Rajesh Jain, MD Lacoste India. Would request you to come on stage for the dissemination of the awards. Ms. Kanika Mathur, founder K Trends, and Anisha Singh, founder She Capital. So this was the jury along with me, who actually looked at a lot of brands, and I think we had a formidable challenge in terms of deciding which is the most deserving brand. And we are talking about brands in the new age startup ecosystem, not the brands at large. Nevertheless, we have the privilege of honoring 4 exceptional brands today. And this has been selected by the jury, clearly a jury selection. And these brands have done exemplary, meaningful initiatives in the way they have built the brand. And we'll come to know that after this, after the award-giving ceremony, because we'll have a small panel discussion along with the winners of the brand. So can we please have the first brand that is getting the Meaningful Brands Award on the screen? Sorry for the technical glitch. We've just changed the format of this session completely in the last 15-20 minutes, so which is the reason why they don't know what is happening here. The panel was supposed to happen first.
Unparalleled experiences is no small feat. Through initiatives that promote sustainability and empower girls, Chios shows its dedication to make a positive impact.
So Chios is the first brand that we have selected. Can we have Raghav on stage, please? Thanks, Raghav. I would request you to please take a seat. Can we have the second brand?
Clovia not only distinguishes itself through its unwavering commitment towards customers, but also through promoting body positivity, inclusivity, and urging women to embrace their true selves. In an industry dominated by unrealistic standards, Clovia creates a positive impact, highlighting a liberated lifestyle.
Thanks, Neha. Would request you to please take the seat. The third brand, please.
Ferns and Petals fosters a legacy of heartfelt moments with stunning floral arrangements and gifts that elevate cherished moments. FNP's initiatives like monthly cake activity and hashtag employee elves reached over 700 kids with the spirit of generosity.
Thank you so much. And the last brand that we have today.
Tourism, Ixigo, leverages sophisticated technology for unparalleled customer experiences. Beyond ticket bookings, Ixigo also supports causes including funding medical travel emergencies, scholarships, women's safety, and more, highlighting their proactive and ethical business practices in the industry.
Thank you so much, jury members. Really appreciate your time and effort behind this initiative. Besides this, I would also want to call Chirag, founder 4700 BC. And now we have a small panel on meaningful brands. So I'll need a mic over there. And I'll also need a chair, please, if you don't mind. We have one. Thank you very much, and congratulations to the winners. And it's a pleasure to have you with me on the stage. As I've just spoken about what meaningful brands stand for, let me start with Chirag, because Chirag and me were discussing before this, and I was trying to find out why this name, 4700 BC. And everybody else around me said, "You don't know 4700 BC?" I said, "No, I haven't been to a movie hall for many, many years now." And that's where I was telling him, maybe you need to connect with me, as in the marketing. Also, a very interesting way of why 4700 BC, I tried to find out that popcorns were found in the ancient caves in Peru in 4700 BC. My God, what a story behind a brand. I also have a story behind the brand of Havas, and everybody questions me why Havas. And I have to tell them that this is the name of my founder, Charles Louis Havas, and in France, H is silent. So, it's Havas and not Havas. Brands are important, and I think that's why I was curious to understand what 4700 BC So I want to understand, I was talking to you, you talk about, blame us for your new obsession, right? And that's a very provocative line, right? At the same time, popcorns are something which are not as unhealthy as the other snacks. In fact, they're quite healthy, have a lot of fiber. How have you built this meaningful brand over a period of time, and how do you feel that you need to take this brand forward in future?
Thanks, Mohit. I think, when we started, we had a vision to fill a gap in the market where popcorn was still a very cinema or a ready kind of a product in India. And internationally, it's like any other snack. right? So that's where we found a gap in the market where we thought, I think there's a product we found and, let's launch it in India. I think over a period of time, I think what we realized is, one, building a brand is a long-term thing, right? So we have to be patient enough every year on year, and build a brand for future, right? So building a brand is not an easy thing, which is like 4-5 years mein ban jati hai, right? So we've been patient enough to slowly and gradually build this brand, get a lot of visibility through different channels, right? We have to build a lot of use cases of why popcorn fits as any other snacks in the market, right? So why would somebody replace versus the chips, right? So I think we've been building all those use cases, whether we've been present in airlines, whether we've been present in movie theaters, whether we are present, through any reading bookshops or something, right? So that's the use case we have been telling over a period of time. And I think once the pattern is built, right, that, popcorn fits into the culture of eating outside cinemas also, I think that's where we win the journey, right? Over the last couple of years, what we have also done is, we realized that, yes, people have started knowing the brand 47BC as an innovative brand, right? As something which is bring new to the market. So last couple of years, we have also launched multiple products which are similar in the snacking space. And the one thing we learned doing this thing, snacking is first taste, then health, right? So agar taste nahi acha lagega, to you will not get hooked to a snacking product. So first, that's why we never sell a health story like Gangu type of health सुना रहे. We say कि product अच्छा है, taste अच्छा है. I think if person gets hooked to it, I think they will realize the benefits of the health to it, and they will probably eat more, right? So that's been our journey of building this brand and launching more and more products in the similar space, right, over a period of time.
Thanks, Chirag. That's really insightful. I'll come to Anil, you and Ferns and Petals is something which has existed for a very long time, I would say digital disruption, and has been a meaningful brand for most of us in our own ways.
30 years, and we were early starters of e-commerce in India.
Wow, yes. So I want to understand the journey of Ferns and Petals, and how have you built this meaningful brand over these 40 years that you just mentioned?
So if we ask people, how many times they buy flowers, so they will,
Just keep it
majority
close.
of the people will say, once or twice in a year.
No, I have done it yesterday.
Right. So that's the insight, people generally don't buy flowers. If we talk about barring metropolitan cities, so culture is not there, and this gifting of fresh flower is basically, I'm talking about the early years when we were struggling. So to create that awareness and create the design that people will watch for, because earlier it was only top level. I mean, in the top circle, it used to be, it was a gifting medium. And slowly, we started building in, we started creating stories, successful stories all across the country. And we made sure that the shops are well looking, and people were like, used to mock at us that, air conditioned flower shop kaun banata hai, right? So that was that time. However, we had our struggles. First 10 years were really struggling, and now this Valentine we have delivered 50,000 bouquets on a single day, and
Wow.
in a good condition. So so that's the story, and we deliver emotions. Okay, so we have lot of responsibilities when we. Our mantra is that you have to commit less and deliver more. So that's what been going on with Ferns and Petals so far.
Very true. Yesterday was Women's Day, so I had a fight with
Yes,
my wife, and after that,
We delivered
I was trying
yesterday.
to deliver
Yesterday,
flowers.
just for one company, we made 35,000 single pink color roses. With the packing all across India, we had to deliver it. We did that.
Thank you so much. It's really insightful, Anil. Coming to you, Neha, a brand, Clovia, that has been, built over a period of time, a very, very meaningful brand. Give us your story of brand building and success over years.
अच्छा story will It's a 10-year story, so I don't know how to, give it to you in just 10, 20 seconds. But
No, you can
I
take more
think,
time. I've told them to give me 30 minutes, so don't worry.
but I think what really helped was that first, we didn't think much of brand. I should be honest about it. For first 2 or 3 years, rather actually 4 years, we thought it's revenue before brand because the business has to survive and then the brand will make its way. So we did many anti-brand things, honestly, in the beginning. Sometimes doing products which were not really, which were very mass. I was just discussing with Chirag just some time back that mass products are also needed to expand, but a lot of mass products, some channels which were to us probably beneath us, but I still went on TV selling on shopping networks, selling products, saying things like "पहले मैं इतनी मोटी होती थी, देखो ये पहन के अभी ऐसे दिखते हैं," and so on. So we did all of that, but so I think that is one thing which helped the brand survive. And then once we hit 100 crores, then we gained momentum, and then we could start saying no to a lot of things that we shouldn't have probably done before. And then, especially in our category, which is lingerie, a lot of customers, when we did research, would speak about fit and comfort, etc. But from brand perspective, we thought we will stay away from functional, and which a lot of people have been doing, and let's start speaking of emotions, like you said. And we chose joy or happiness as our keyword, and then that keyword we propagated in everything we did, whether it was not just the promotions, but the product design, the communication. Today you walk into a store, our staff is trained to just to look happy. Actually, that's what we did. You should look happy. We should greet happily when the customer walks in. And I think that has also now started to pay off, and the brand has come to be known as a happy brand, something which, girls like to gossip with, have fun with when they are on our social page or they are in our store.
Great. Thanks. I think you covered it really well in in 2 minutes. And I remember the last time we were on stage together was when I had a beard, and you had made a very, very strong comment that this is not the way you should be. So I'm happy that I'm without a beard with you on stage today. That was many, many years back. I think 6, 7 years back. Yeah. Coming to the Chayos man, Raghav, and I'm a tea drinker. I've told you so many stories of Chayos myself, and I personally, for me, it's a very, very meaningful brand per se. Whenever I travel outside India, I always carry your sachets so that at least the morning tea that I want is the way it is, and I don't have to depend on anything anywhere, right? So tell me about the story, how, and tea as a category is so, I would say, it's a generic category. How did you make a meaningful brand out of a generic category?
So it's very interesting actually. When we started out, chai consumption on an average, every adult Indian drinks 2 cups of chai a day. That's the average, right? Tea to coffee consumption is 30 cups to 1 cup. Wow. And when we started out, there were about 2,000 cafes that existed for coffee. But when you thought about, I want to step outside my house and get a good cup of chai, तो कुछ option ही नहीं था. And we said that is the problem statement to solve. And pretty much we heard from all across the board, all the industry experts, investors, चाय तो फ्री में मिलती है, चाय तो 6 रुपए की मिलती है टपरी में, why would anybody pay money to sit in a cafe and have a cup of chai? So I think it's been that journey of starting from there, that how can you convert a commodity into a brand? For us, it was simple. Customers like us want to have great chai. If I want to meet somebody, if I want to hang out with my friends and family, and I'm a chai drinker, I'm not a coffee drinker, so what is the place for me? And that's where we started from. Today 200 stores across 7 cities. And I think the most interesting thing for us is that the Meri Wali Chai positioning that we have taken, that came from an insight when we started off with Chayos, right? We spoke to about 200 potential customers then. And, people said, when we asked that question, that what does your ideal chai look like? So someone said, "मुझे तो कड़क अदरक, lots of sugar चाहिए." To somebody else saying that I want very little milk and like a little bit of elaichi. So that was a very fundamental insight at that point of time, and that is still what powers the brand today. So yeah, I think we are proud to serve Indian chai, Indian snacks. We hope to take Indian chai and Indian snacks global as well.
Absolutely. I mean, mass customization, I would say, in a category like tea, I completely agree, and that's what has been the biggest differentiator for you. Coming to the Exigo man, Alok, and Alok is my younger brother's batchmate from IIT Kanpur, but my younger brother hardly talks to him. The day he's introduced me to him, I have been after his life more as a customer than anybody else because I use Exigo myself very, very frequently. It's one of my top apps. And whenever there is an issue, the hotline is on Alok. So Alok, uh, again, it's a very difficult industry, very, very difficult industry. And you've gone through hell during COVID, right? The 2.5 years of COVID, where literally the entire travel was more or less down to zero. Still, you have maintained and managed to stay strong. And now you're going in the IPO direction, right? What has been the fundamental strength that has driven you and the confidence that has driven you to build this brand over a period of time alone?
Sure. First of all, congratulations to all my fellow awardees, and thank you to the jury for recognizing us. Um, I, I think one thing we heard from everyone on the stage today is every brand is built on a very unique insight about the consumer, about the market. And over time, you figure out that based on that insight and understanding of the customer, you end up building a very unique value proposition. And for us, when we started back in 2007, the market was pretty much, the broadband and flight-centric, customers that were online. And therefore, all the OTAs were building sort of the Western template of flight plus hotel. But along the way, we had this unique insight that, look, 24 million people travel on a train every day in India. Only 400,000 take a flight. And if we want to build a brand that truly impacts travel for every Indian, it cannot be done without focusing on, how travel gets done in tier 2, 3 towns and every nook and cranny of the country. So around 2012, 13, that's when we pivoted our thinking around saying, how do we build the most relevant brand for the next billion users, or Bharat, as the theme of today's conference is. How do we build on inclusion? Because, it's not just about selling tickets, and I think that's one big insight also that we carry, that travel as a category is experiential. The joy of actually being on that trip gets broken by moments of anguish when you're trying to figure out information that you need at the last minute. People who have been on a train would empathize with, all the things we've built along the way. But largely, the insight was, can we become the most loved brand in this space? And by focusing very deeply on customer experience for every Indian and not just for Indians taking flights. And that's the point where I think the whole organization pivoted their thinking around saying, okay, what do we need to do? We need to be multilingual. We need to focus on trains and buses. We need to focus on getting into tier 2, 3 towns. And the way we were marketing was also very different because it's very expensive to do, paid brand marketing in tier 2, 3 cities. We get customers now from almost 2,800 towns in India. 94% of our transactions have a tier 2, 3 leg. And the only way we could actually do it was through quirky content marketing, viral videos, and things that we could do with the budgets we could afford, and hopefully we can afford to come to ours one day. But the point was like, based on that unique insight and also the constraints that we had, the brand got built in a way where it was extremely product focused, customer focused, and thinking of ways of marketing which were not textbook. And I think that becomes your unique proprietary way of sort of building the company over time, and that's what has brought us here. I still believe the journey is only started because if you look at internet penetration, online ticketing penetration in categories like buses or in categories like hotels in smaller towns, it's still sub 20%, in terms of online booking. And I think there's a huge audience out there whose needs in travel, look at spiritual tourism, you look at areas like that where you still don't have a value proposition that makes sense for that audience. And I think for us, those are areas that really excite us.
Great. On the content journey, I can vouch for that because every 1st of April he would initiate some quirky thing, and I have been roped into it a couple of times. Once he said that we have come up with turbulence seat accessories. So you put it on your seat, and it'll basically ensure that.
I think he was one of the first
I was
100 who
the first
signed up
one
for
because
it.
I'm scared of turbulence. The moment I saw it, and after that, there was a message from saying, we'll come back to you on 1st April, and I realized, oh my God. Thank you so much, everybody. I think it's been a fantastic.
This 1st April, we'll launch a real product.
Great. Now, I want to do a quick, 1 minute, I would say a fireside chat with each one of you. I want to know from you. I told you that what is a meaningful brand? A meaningful brand is a brand that you would miss if the brand disappeared tomorrow, or if you got up tomorrow morning and you realize that brand is suddenly disappeared. So, Chirag, let me start from you. Which is your most meaningful brand, or which is that brand which, if it disappears tomorrow, you would actually be sad? Maybe you can give me the top 2 brands that are most meaningful to you.
I think Google would be first, right? So I think we will miss.
That's actually the most meaningful brand in India, anyways.
Yeah.
So you've said it right.
No, I didn't read it before coming.
I know that.
So Google is the first one. I think WhatsApp is the second in a startups world, right? Especially the way we communicate these days. So I think these were the 2 big ones from my side.
Great.
Yeah.
Anil, what are your top 2?
I'll add to his list Instagram. So it's just difficult to.
Neha.
Okay, I'll only add beyond it, Blinkit. I'm a person who cannot plan more than 10 minutes in advance. So Blinkit, right in the morning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Zomato, Swiggy, I think.
Zomato, Swiggy.
For me, it will be Amul.
Huh? Amul. Oh my God. Great. No, thank you very much, panel. Thanks for your insights. I think this is the first time when we have instituted the Meaningful Brand Awards, and I'm sure these will become more prevalent. And every time we do a session like this, we'll have more awards. So keep doing the great work that you are doing, and thank you very much once again.
I will just say this is a very meaningful gesture. I've never seen it happen before on any of the panel, having a sign language expert here. So amazing work. Very meaningful gesture.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mohit, for conducting the proceedings and for that very, very fun, insightful panel discussion. Congratulations to all the winners. Let's give it up for all the winners once again, requesting a small token to be presented to all our esteemed guests as well.
I also encourage everybody to go to the Havas, room, which is there. Which is the room? Sheesh Mahal. We are running some very interesting sessions over there of how to build brands, and you can learn a lot from there as well.
Could we request the guests to come together for a photo opportunity?